What is up, my optimistic empire? My YouTube account makes the introduction not necessary, yet I'll delight you with one anyway. I'm Christian Maracle. Okay, now you know who I am. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next explained video. I've not done this since NXT, War Games, and Survivor Series weekend. And as you know, this one is a mystery. Nobody knows who I'm about to talk about because, well, the title is like a mystery saying who I believe should win the Royal Rumble matches this year. But before I get to that, I just want to take a moment and say these explained videos are potential theories. They're not things that are going to happen. They're things, in my opinion, that should happen. Because I want to say this because the last time I did an explained video was why the main roster should invade NXT War Games prior to Survivor Series because of the battle between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That did not happen, but people were telling me that I was wrong. And I'm like, dude, an explained video, in my opinion, is me explaining my theory of what I think should happen, not what I believe is going to happen. So in these videos, it's not what's going to happen, because for one thing, I don't work for the damn company, so how the hell should I know what they're planning? What do you want me to be? One of those stupid websites that just spread rumors and everything and people automatically believe it? Hell no. These videos are just potential theories. I don't even think these are going to happen, but in my opinion, these should happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this explained video is me saying who I believe should win the upcoming 2 Royal Rumble matches. Now, people have asked me this for a long time. Every single year, it's always the same thing. Christian, who do you predict is going to win the Rumble match? This is not my prediction. This is who I would like to have win. Who I would like to win the Rumble match. Sorry. I gotta correct even myself if my grammar sucks. And people get annoyed when I correct them on their grammar. How, look at this. I correct myself on my own grammar if it goes bad. Alright. As you guys know, ever since 2018, there's 2 Royal Rumble matches. One for the men, one for the women. This year, this was a really difficult one for me to pick. But I do have potential theories. Who do I believe should win the male Royal Rumble match? The answer? Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor in NXT. Yes, I know. He's like, hey, Christian, he's part of NXT. What are you talking about? Well, from what I heard, NXT might have a part in the Royal Rumble match, and more than just being a couple surprise entrants. So, you know, there's that to think about. I'm thinking Finn Balor should win the male Royal Rumble match. Now, why the hell should Finn Balor win the Royal Rumble match? Well, the answer to that, it's because of what happened at SummerSlam when Finn Balor took on The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The extraordinary Finn Balor died that night when The Fiend murdered him. And now we have Prince Balor, basically. We have Prince Balor in NXT. And despite being part of NXT, there's still a bit inside Finn Balor that wants revenge after getting humiliated and embarrassed at SummerSlam. So that's why Finn Balor should win the men's Royal Rumble match and go on to face The Fiend as the Demon for the Universal Championship. Because as everybody has seen when it comes to The Fiend, nobody can beat this thing. People have tried. They all failed. Finn Balor tried and died. Seth Rollins tried twice, failed twice. Daniel Bryan tried and failed. Daniel Bryan is likely going to fail again at the Royal Rumble. So, and I think the reason for that is because this confirms my previous theories that The Fiend is portrayed as this supernatural, invincible entity that cannot be touched by any mortal human being. This is why Finn Balor should call upon the Demon to take on The Fiend at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Because if the Demon cannot beat The Fiend, at least the Demon can survive long enough to discover its weakness before dying, which will allow a future wrestler to exploit said weakness and destroy The Fiend once and for all. That could be possible. But like I said, this is what I think should happen, not what I believe will happen. So if anybody's going to tell me if that doesn't happen, oh, you were wrong. Well, guess what? You're the one who was wrong, because I know that what I'm saying is neither going to be right nor wrong. Okay? If it does happen, I wasn't right. Because I never said it was going to happen. As for the female Royal Rumble match, who do I believe should win the female Royal Rumble match? The answer, Ronda Rousey. I thought she was gonna have kids or something. I thought she was done with WWE. As far as we know, we don't know exactly the exact details. And besides, the fans don't know every single detail, no matter how much they claim to know every single detail. I don't even know any freaking detail about any of this. I just watch what I watch on TV and go with the flow. Maybe that explains why I'm a guy who enjoys wrestling a lot more than a lot of people who just whine and complain about things that were going on through their imagination that never end up happening in reality. Oh well then. Now, why do I believe Ronda Rousey should win the female Royal Rumble match? Well, the answer, to get her revenge on Becky Lynch for what happened at the botched finish at the main event of WrestleMania 35. Ronda Rousey should win the female Royal Rumble match because at WrestleMania 35, everyone knows, in the main event, Becky Lynch pinned Ronda. However, the pinfall was botched severely. The referee counted 1. Ronda's shoulders, both her shoulders, her entire body was off the ground. The referee continued to count. 2, 3. Even despite the fact that Ronda had kicked out of the previous pinfall. And because of that, Becky Lynch's title reign began. It still continues to this very day. But this is why I believe that Becky's path of dominance as the man began at the expense of Ronda Rousey, which explains why Ronda has not been seen ever since then. Of course, the reality of the situation, if you're talking the real-life person, she wanted to take time off, probably start a family. The character, on the other hand, was embarrassed and humiliated by the man. And maybe, like Emperor Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker, spoiler alert, on Star Wars, like Palpatine, after everybody had presumed he would die at the hands of Darth Vader, was secretly plotting his revenge from the shadows. What if Ronda Rousey is also potentially plotting her revenge from the shadows? That could be possible. So that at Royal Rumble, that Ronda Rousey, of course you can hear water, by the way, that's just the water, ignore that. As I was saying, as you guys know, Ronda Rousey could be potentially planning her revenge from the shadows, and at the Royal Rumble, she suddenly arrives, wins the Royal Rumble match, and challenges Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Probably not the main event, but gets the one-on-one match that people have been wanting. That I said it was a good thing that the one-on-one match did not happen at WrestleMania 35. So, I'm saying, guys, Ronda Rousey is the pick, in my opinion, that should win the Royal Rumble match for the females to get her one-on-one match with Becky Lynch. Now, would she get her revenge on Becky and win the title? Potentially, or possibly not. The man could win again. Meantime, speaking of Becky Lynch, she's got up to face Asuka at Royal Rumble this year, just like she faced Asuka last year. Because if you look at things, from Becky's perspective, Asuka is the final threat. Asuka is the last threat. Because Becky's never once beat her. And she submitted to Asuka last year. So right now, Becky's in a place where she feels like if she defeats Asuka, she will have beaten everybody. Anybody who was a legitimate threat to her title reign. And then Ronda Rousey would show up again. Get her revenge. Be more powerful this time. But if that doesn't work, there's always the alternative. And that is Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler could do this because it's her act of revenge for either what happened at Survivor Series or because she wants to avenge Ronda Rousey's downfall. So that could also be a potential factor in this whole thing. Maybe Ronda Rousey could still be plotting her revenge, and she probably won't even show up. Shayna Baszler's the one executing said revenge. This is just assuming that Ronda Rousey doesn't show up at all. Then the alternative, in my opinion, is Shayna Baszler. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is my theory. That is my theories on who I believe should win the men and women's Royal Rumble match. Finn Balor and Ronda Rousey. Because both of them suffered embarrassing, humiliating defeats at the hands of their oppositions. So, this is their chance at redemption. For Finn Balor, it's to find and possibly exploit the weakness of the Fiend. And for Ronda Rousey, it's to avenge a botched finish at the main event of WrestleMania. But there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed my explained video on that. Who do you think should win the men and women's Royal Rumble matches? That's what I really want to know. Do I believe that it's going to happen? Anything's possible. I'm like Doctor Strange here, except I can't actually see the future. I'm just looking at these things. These two things are two potential futures. Possibilities. That doesn't mean they're actually going to happen, alright guys? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to do these explain videos again. Do not forget to be optimistic, show your optimism, and think optimistically. I can't wait for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be fun. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will likely be the return of the Sins videos. Until then guys, take care and good night.